Hey, I'm Melanie Trailer, and welcome to week 2 of the Dandy Quilt Along. We have a block demo for you today, and this week is sponsored by Havel Sewing, and 3 different winners are going to win a prize from Havel's. All of the details about the giveaway is in your participation email. If you are not signed up yet, links to everything are right below this video. Let me put up a slide really quick of how many blocks you're making based on the 3 different quilt sizes. And yeah, let's just waste no time and get busy making our block. All right, hey, so I wanted to just show you the block that we're making. Not much to it, right? So easy peasy. So we've got a lot of blocks, a lot of strip sets to make, but I just wanted to show you that once you've got your strip set made, you just cut it and then boom, your block is done. So let me put up a slide right now, and this is going to show you how many strip sets you're making. We've already talked about how many blocks you're making, but this is a little bit easier to think about since we're cutting the blocks from our strip sets. And just, also one more reminder that, you've got to have 2, you don't have to, but the pattern is written where you have the A, B, and B, right? So you want to go ahead and pull the strips that you're working with. So go ahead and get all the strips you need for those strip sets that we talked about. And this is just going to be our week 2 strip set. So we're not, I've got all the other ones sitting over here out of sight. And then you're going to grab both your A's, right? And then you're going to grab both your B's. And one thing is you want to make sure that when you start piecing these, you piece them at the cut edge. So that's the cut edge, and that is the selvage edge. So when I start piecing these, I'm going to take my A and my B, put them together right there on that cut edge, and then start piecing with a 1/4 inch seam. All right, and if you have a 1/4 inch foot, use that as your guide to getting that 1/4 inch seam. If you don't, use the 1/4 inch line on your needle plate. Find that engraved line, and you want to sew with the edge of your fabric to the inside of that line. So real clear, not on top of the line, but inside of it, all right? All right, now, if you'll notice, my A and B fabrics are not coming out in the same place. So this one ended up being a little bit longer than this one. Don't worry about that. Let that just be the way it is. And then you're going to sew the second A and B, and you want to make sure that you're putting the same A on the bottom and the same B on the top. So it's always going to be with the B on top. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing. Alright, so now I'm going to cut the little thread that connects them. Put this one over here, and this one, I'm going to open it up. Now I've still got my A and my B. Then I'm going to open this one up, and then make sure that it is also A and B. And then line them back up. Start sewing again using that 1/4 inch seam. Just one more reminder, you're sewing with the edge of your fabric on the inside of that 1/4 inch line. Or you're using your presser foot to help you. So my eyes are always, right here. They're not actually right here. They're not down here. They're right there, keeping this edge of the fabric on the inside of that line. right, and then now we're ready to press. So let's flip our strip set over, and then we're going to press all of these seams open. So I'm going to take a finger, slip it between the seam, and then start pressing. And I'm not running my iron along the fabric, I'm picking it up and setting it down. So you're not ironing, you're pressing. All right. Do the next seam. And this pressing the seams open is going to make us have flatter blocks. All right, third seam, same way. All right, then flip the whole thing over. And then we're just going to spray it with our pressing spray and press again. And that pressing spray, it gets the fabric crisp, and it makes it easier for you to cut more accurate. Okay, one quick thing. If you end up with any kind of little bit where this is actually torn open, like if this seam is coming apart, your stitch length is too long, just turn it down a notch, or one button press. Just turn it down until that stops happening to you. All right, so let's go cut this into blocks. All right, so we're ready to cut this strip set into blocks. And real quick, you're seeing me do this on one single strip set, but know that normally I stack these up 2 to 3 strip sets deep and do them, multiple ones at a time. We're actually going to be talking about batch sewing in next week's video, but if you want to put another strip set up here, you definitely can. All right, and you're going to find a vertical line that you want to start your cutting on. And you're going to take the edge of your fabric and you're going to overlap that vertical line. And then you're going to find a horizontal line, and you're going to make sure that the edge of your top fabric is flush with that horizontal line. If you're doing this reverse from me, if you're going to start cutting over here, that's fine. You can do the same thing just on the opposite side. I like to cut this way to this way. So that's just the way I always do it. Now, before you start cutting, you want to measure out and make sure that you can get, all your blocks from this strip set. Your pattern tells you how many you're cutting, and it tells you what size to cut them. Make sure before you start cutting that you can actually get them. I don't think you're going to have any trouble in this particular pattern, but there's a couple of patterns in stash work where it's a little bit more difficult. So double check that you've got this, and then line up just the same way that we cut in last week's video. We're going to be cutting right here on this line. I've got a little bit overhang over here so that I can cut myself a clean edge, and my eyes are falling right here to the 1 inch line on the ruler, and I'm lining that ruler up 1 inch away on the mat where I'm actually going to cut. And then we cut. So I'm just cutting the bare minimum away, and you'll also notice that I'm cutting the cut edge, and my selvage edge, is right here. So I'm not cutting on the selvage edge. The selvage edge is all wonky and things like that. All right, and now we're going to cut our first block. Again, your pattern is going to tell you what size to make them. And then we just start cutting. That's 2 blocks. Three blocks. 4 blocks. This is, you can put this in your scrap bin, you can chuck it, whatever you need to do. And then there is our blocks. And that is all that there is to making the blocks in this quilt. All right, so not too bad, right? That's a pretty easy quilt, and this is a pattern that was written to help you work faster. So it's very, very efficient, very simple and basic, and it's going to help you get those fabrics used. If you are just finding this quilt along and you need the pattern. There's a link for it right below this video. All of 2024, we're working through my book stash work, making each of the patterns. All right, so don't forget to enter the giveaway. Again, we're sponsored by Havels this week, and we're gonna have 3 winners. How to enter, everything you need to do to get yourself entered is in that email. You'll need to click the button to make yourself eligible. If you have any questions, concerns, or anything like that, please put them in the comments or send me an email. I'm happy to help in any way I can. Thanks for participating, and I will see you next week.